Now then everybody, just remember this channel is only about skips and waste and everything else. So if you're interested in that, click subscribe and you'll love the video. So my friend has got a problem, a local company's got a problem with his baler. So I am doing, luckily he said I can do a video of what is happening here, and also he has an exemption, so I need to talk to you about a couple of things. You can store and recycle tyres under an exemption, but obviously the exemptions are getting taken away, so it's a very worrying time for these people who are operating under an exemption. It's sad times. Been in business 20 years, and the problem what my friend's having is it financially viable to pay a permit for £4,000 or £5,000 a year and another £10,000–15,000 to apply? Is it viable as a business? But what I wanted to show you is what these guys do here with the tyres in the UK. So these bales inevitably will end up in another country like Egypt or Dubai or whatever like that, and then they are melted down basically, and they turn the rubber back into oil, which then they can use to make new products. But there's a reason why tyres are quite expensive to recycle, and the reason for that is because it takes a lot of effort and time and money to get them to this stage into a decent bale. So as you can see, you imagine you have to put all these tyres in there and bale them up. It's a real pain in the backside. But I'm going to show you how my friend does it, and you'll understand why it's an expensive process. Also, these tyres obviously are going to travel across the world to other places, which is also costly. We are going to meet what I like to call the king of tyres. There he is. This man, if you've got a tyre to get rid of, this is the guy. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a link to his business. Yeah?
Thank you.
It's alright, innit? I'll put a link to his business, and this man takes tyres from all over the country.
We certainly do.
Yeah?
You've tried the rest, now try the best.
That's it. This is a little plug as well, giving the man a bit of work.
Thank you, dear boy.
Yeah.
Thank
Make sure you ring
boy.
me first so I can make a
You know
commission,
that.
yeah?
You know that, yeah?
So that guy is called James, a great guy to deal with, and his company deals in massive bulk tyres. So they have a weighbridge. You come into the site on the weighbridge, drive in, tip your tyres down, then they have a loading shovel out there, look, and it pushes the tyres up. What the expensive part about is of recycling tyres is that it's all manual labour. So they do an automatic baler, but these guys here, they do it all by hand. So they have a day shift and a night shift, baling constantly around the clock, and then they're pretty well set up. So the container lorry will come in here, reverses in there, the container comes up to this place here, and then they use this ramp to drive into the back of the container lorry and then fill the lorry with the bales, which is quite a nifty little thing. This, look, it's got a little metal flap on it. You lift it up, they put it into the container. I've seen them loading a few up, and then they load it up. Today you're allowed to do tyres on a waste exemption, and obviously, as you'll all know, the waste exemptions are getting taken away. So James, he's in a position where this business potentially could close, or he needs to get a waste permit. So the Environment Agency, even though car tyres are just on the road all day every day, I've said that you must have a permit, even if you're doing just waste tyres. This man does nothing else but waste tyres, and he is going to have a permit. So he's got a big decision to make. He's a nice fella, so I'm sure people will help him out. Right, so I've come over to the baler, and how a tyre baler works is very different to how a normal baler works. So you have these bars inside, as you can see there. They go to a pin on the outside, and these boys put the tyres in, and what happens is these hold the tyres in place like that. So they hold the tyre down, the press comes down like that, and as it comes down, it pushes those down like that, so the tyres all get compressed at the bottom. Then as this lifts back up, they will go like that and stop the tyres being able to come up. Obviously, this door will be closed. Their baler is a specific baler for tyres, and these boys, let me tell you, they are absolute war horses. They can do up to 30 ton. How much is in a container, James?
26 tons.
26 ton. So these boys on a good day, on a good run, can do 26 ton a day through these balers. Very simple and straightforward. The bales are huge, so compared to a normal baler. And the baler opens on both sides, so you can make a bale from this side and that side, and that's what they do. They have two boys going hell for leather. Nice and simple controls. Pull that down, hold it, come down, back up. Nice and fast. Big motor on the other side, big hydraulic pump. A real good cycle time. So cycle time means it going all the way down and then all the way back up. Right, so with this baler, what's different about this baler is not only the little teeth that hold the tyres down as the ram comes up. As you can see, there's little grooves cut out of the top of this plate, and they go in between these teeth, and then that means that can go all the way up and the tyres will stay held down. The other thing about this baler, normal balers are probably up here 2 meters. I'm quite tall. This baler is probably 4, 5, 6 meters tall. It is massive. The stroke is ridiculous. It goes literally from there all the way down. It'll push right down here, and it stops where that line is, where these hooks are. That's where you know. And on the side of this baler, if you look there where it says, what, you can just see it, 130, that means there's 130 tyres, 150 tyres, and so on. So once the tyres are compressed, what happens to these bales is they then put these into a lorry, and it'll go abroad to Egypt or Dubai or wherever they go in India, and then there will be around 33 of these bales that will go abroad, and then they go through a process called pyrolysis.
Correct.
Yeah, pyrolysis, which is where you heat it up but without fire, and it basically melts the rubber off the metal, and then you get left with a big load of wire, and then you get left with something that looks like tar and oil. It's like black, horrible stuff, and then they can use that to manufacture new materials or use it for energy. So when these go into a container, how the process works, as you can see, there is a considerable amount of manual labour to do these. Some days I come here and this is fully filled up with tyres, big bales. This is just the two outside, and this is full, and they might have enough for 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 containers, whatever, and then the lorries come backwards and forwards, put them into containers, then they are exported to another country. So we're lucky really to get an insight into this business, because not a lot of people like you knowing what they do. The lad who does this business, he's a really good guy, and we do a lot of work with him, and a lot of work, we maintain his balers and things like that because of his location, and we've got a workshop. We come out and do his electrical repairs, but obviously he's got something to think about. Is he going to get a proper permit and spend 40 grand or whatever to get one? You know, and the other thing is, what I want to ask you is, do you think that he should need a permit? Because, you know, it's a tyre, goes on the road, there's a million tyres on the road. He follows all his all the waste regulations now, and yeah, do you think he needs a permit? He does all his transfer notes for everything coming in and going out, but it's you know, again, it's a hot topic for you all. But this man does certainly do a lot of tyres, thousands and thousands and thousands every week. So so at least you know now what happens to your tyres and why it's so expensive, because the labour involved, it's a nightmare. Up there showing you the bales of tyres, you can see that more have come. So these, I'm going to leave these boys to it, but I thought I'd give you a little insight of how it's done. This will last the boys a couple of days. It's mad how fast it goes down, because the tyre's quite bulky. You know, that's only 3 tyres there, and it takes a lot of space up, and they'll turn all that into, I don't know how many bales, or a few hundred bales or whatever, and then on that ramp, lorry comes in and off it goes. So I hope you've enjoyed this little look around, and like I say, he's got a lot of decisions to make, whether he's going to go for an exemption. It's a real shame that it's come to either you run your business with a permit or you give it up. What do you think about it? Let me know. See you soon.